Hi, Kamalika. How are you?
Hi Pranav, how are you doing?
It's amazing. And we're not 8,000 miles away now, so we're a lot closer, but not
I
close enough.
know. And I think this is like it's the right time for us to be back after like a whole year gap over there. It's been so long, and I know we promised each other and to everyone who was kind enough to subscribe that we'll be here every week. But then just so much has been happening, and like you said, you've literally flown across the ocean now, and so much of interesting things that are happening. So yes, Pranav, tell us what's happening in your professional life.
Yeah, so we've got like I'm like super stoked to be back. I think we're much more prepared for season two now than we were.
Yes. Yes.
Professionally, also we've both got updates on our side. So
Yep.
I moved from the US to Dubai. You moved companies, I've moved industries, so it's really interesting. I think how we're going to use logically speaking as a platform to talk about what we do and what we are interested in and our passion. And we always stayed in touch, but we didn't get the sort of opportunity
Yeah,
to record this. But now
I
let's not
know.
drop the ball. Let's do
But
this
I
every
know. So
week.
now that you've settled into your new job and a new location, Pranav, how has it been?
It's been amazing. Yeah, Dubai is the best city of India, as I always say. So for me, it's just like it's as good as being home. I think it couldn't be better.
Nice. So you've like recently moved, from being the CFO of a very traditional company onto like the front and center of the entire DeFi verse. So tell us a little about that.
I think this is where the world is moving, right? So I wouldn't want to say that I'm a trend spotter, but I think I can see the writing on the wall. And what began as a journey almost a year back to transition out of the US, transition out of TradFi, move to DeFi. We're now seeing a lot of large corporates in the TradFi world, everybody from PayPal to Visa, MasterCard, all of them
Yeah.
trying to do more when it comes
Not
to
just them, even our central bankers are trying to get into that. Oh, so
absolutely
everyone wants
right.
a
Like
piece of that pie.
imagine whoever thought that we'll have like central bankers trying to put their own tokenized currency out in the world and literally give us
Exactly.
reasons like, I'm going to save money on printing paper. So, uh, not that I'm a big fan of CBDCs, but I think the best part is that it shows what tech can do, right? And
Yeah.
what your career change has been is exactly following that, right? You wanted to always get into product. You're finally
Yeah.
working for India's biggest RTA in the product team and sort of in the center of all the action where it comes to, open finance
Oh,
and
yes.
what we're doing over there. So I think
Oh,
that's also
yes.
going to be super interesting. We'd love to know more about what is open finance and, talk more about it.
So, I think when it comes to doing things digitally, the last 8 years or so, India has shown the world that yes, we have the capabilities to do that. And this is just, another part of the entire India stack story. So India Stack started out with, I think all of us are familiar with Aadhaar now, the identity layer. And then they had the DigiLockers, which was the entire paperless layers. Then UPI came in, and that was like a huge savior for everyone during COVID with the cashless layer. And now, what Open Finance is trying to do in India is to create a consented layer. So basically, if you want to previously without Open Finance, if you wanted to like apply, you let's assume that you were a small business owner and you wanted to apply for a loan, most of the times banks, even though they had government's mandate for all their PLI schemes and the priority sector lending and all of that, they still would feel very wary of lending to small business owners, simply because they didn't have enough data about them, they didn't have enough financial information about them to underwrite these people. But now with Open Finance, we can literally ensure that the data that you want to share in lieu of some financial transaction, some financial services, that it can be a loan, it can be you want to set up a payment, new payment gateway, any of that, you share whatever data you think is relevant in a way that is secure. You do it seamlessly, so there's no need for you to go to n number of places, download those PDF statements, and then again submit it to take a printout and submit it to the branch, and then they'll take like 3 weeks to get back to you, by when probably you don't even need that working capital anymore.
Right.
So that's what open finance is actually trying to do in India.
No, and I think that's amazing because to think about it, the Web3 movement is based on a couple of very core philosophical pillars, and
Hmm.
a couple of them are sort of being trustless and being
Yeah.
permissionless. And I think
Yeah.
what open finance, without using those words, probably, though we have a central government creating the infra, so it may not
Yep.
be purely permissionless, but at the same time it gives a lot of control in the hands of the user. And what when
Absolutely.
you and I'm sure we'll talk about this more in the weeks to come, but when we talk about things like zero knowledge, or you talk about things like trustlessness, this is exactly what that is, right? Like earlier, when a business owner sent out a data, whether it was their financials, etc., to a banker as a PDF, we either had to notarize it or get
Yeah.
it stamped, and the idea was that you trust that the intermediary is doing what they're supposed to do as a fiduciary responsibility. But now
Yeah.
with things like open finance, Web3, we'll see these data points can be shared in a trustless manner, because on the chain you cannot fake data.
Yep.
And similarly, on the open finance stack, we'll not be able to change data. And it's amazing to me that India is sort of leading the way, considering that we are a close to 1.5 billion people now. We're having such a large geographic footprint. We're a 3 trillion economy. So it's not even that we're not doing a lot of value
Yeah.
transactions. We're doing tons of transactions by volume and by value. And
Yeah.
I think India is leading the world in all of this, and to sort of let me plug in here that the leading the world, how great an example was the G20.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Like, I
I
think we
know.
killed it, right? We like,
Yeah. And like right at the onset of G20, because of all the geopolitical tension and all of that, people are like, India may not be able to come up with a consensus. But then, the way that all our leaders, our Sherpas worked round the clock, I think it was a very, very exciting time. And not just because it is also because we were hosting it, so it felt like as if we were welcoming others into
of
our
course.
homes. But yes, I mean, there was so much of interesting stuff happening at G20 as well.
I know, right? Because see, at least sitting here in Dubai, we attended events in G20, and it made us feel like, hey, we're hosting this, right? People are coming to my home ground, my hometown. So many
Yeah.
events in Bombay, Delhi, and I think we will never be able to bring that feeling unless you actually have that Vasudeva Kutumba, which is, the whole world is one feeling, the world is a
Yes.
family feeling, and we embody it in India, we personify it in India, and this gave us the perfect opportunity. And I think our leadership did a great job showcasing
Absolutely.
our country to the world.
So I think one of the very interesting things over there, for me at least, as a fellow fintech enthusiast, was that CBDC UPI interoperability was on display for every delegate who came to Delhi. So everyone, if they had to buy something, even at like Palika Bazaar, they could actually use their UPI QR codes to and pay via CBDC for that. So that shows India's forwardness when it comes to all things digital finance. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be incredible. What we are really doing when we say incredible India is truly incredible in terms of how we're marching. And I think the you brought up that geopolitical part, but sort of the India China
Yeah.
tension, the Russia angle with the
Yeah.
world's West having what it had. We couldn't see a lot of those senior leaders join, but it still went out much smoother than what a lot of commentators were hoping, right? And they
Yeah,
were forecasting.
absolutely.
So this is so much to talk about, right? I think it's going to be an amazing time doing what we're doing, and logically speaking, we're going to cover topics like entrepreneurship, startups,
Yeah,
capital markets, fintech, Web3, crypto, and so much more, right? And if any of you really want us to talk about something special, something specific, please don't hesitate commenting about it, telling us about in our DMs. Both our LinkedIn's are super, we are super active on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And if you don't want to miss our conversations, this one and the next one and the one after that, please hit subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends and family. We'd love
And
to
we
get your.
do promise that we will be back every week now on. And so that way, you better make sure that you're staying subscribed to the channel and you're not missing out on the conversations we're having there.
Absolutely. We want to do this every week. We want to tell you what's happening around the world in so many areas that we are passionate about and we talk about ourselves. And we'll just keep it casual. It'll be like talking amongst friends. And maybe we'll have some friends over sometime.
Yep, absolutely. See you next time.
Take care. Bye, guys. Hit like, subscribe, and let us know how you thought. Bye.